Everyone sign that attendance fee. So waste management, the last topic that I've given notes. Today we will be proving all the modules, okay? And the majority modules are same. Like we start with the chapter called climate. Okay, correct? Keep your preface page of your textbook or volume ready. I'll be giving exclusive guidance and bit of topo and maps of it. Okay. That will give our final conclusion to this batch. We have already done with NATO. So either of your textbook or your volume. So just raise your hand and I'm just seeing that how many numbers are doing this module one by one. I hope, is there anybody who doesn't know the paper pattern? Paper pattern, section A, section B. Don't know, anybody? Don't know? Sure. Even in the PGM, I was doing that same with your parents, is it? So now what are we going to do? We start not with your section A. We start with your section B. So the paper pattern is like we have section A on one side, section B on another side. Correct? Now we have modules first. Okay. So this topic, if you remember, I have done it in the month of May. And along with good deal of concepts, it also has some numericals. And numericals are short question. During school exams or during our UT exams, while attempting this, what do you call it, numericals, anybody find it difficult? Any odd questions you have? Which you want to discuss with me, either in the school or in the UT. So this is one typical module, 10 marks, correct? So let me see how many are going ahead with this module. Just raise your hand, let's put up. Okay, okay, confirm. Did you attempt all the sections, the 80 marks which you are going to come? Did you attempt climate besides the numericals? Did you find it easy? Or did you find some challenging questions popped up? So what are you going to do? 1 year ka beginning mein you've selected climate and continue that. Do not change it. Even if now, like we will have the full test. You know, you keep paper pattern, you will have 4 and 2 will be given to your house. You can solve. So by the month of I think October or November, they will start with this full test with like portion wise they are going to. So if you are attempting 1 and 2, you will come to know how deep is this module. And once you have done more than 2 or 3 writing tests, and if you have scored out of 10, even 8 or 6 or 7, you are preferably on the mark. Correct? Anybody have any query of climate? Now, if I tell you certain things from the climate, just keep open that page. Either of the textbook, whichever you are using, open to that chapter climate. I'll just tell you where are the highlights to be given. Please mark the paragraphs or the headings where maximum questions reflect. Okay. ये thorough revision हो जाएगा आपका पूरा portion का. हाँ. The first module you have to see is the climate. In that climate only, first thing they are going to ask you, difference between weather and climate. Did you see? नहीं रहेगा तो उधर लिख लो आपके textbook में साइड में कहीं तो लिखो. Difference between weather and climate is the first question, a general question which was asked. Second, I'm just going with this objective type of. Then we have distribution of rainfall. That is one more type. Then we have 3 types. Is it moderate, low, scanty, and high? Very important. Put 2 star marks for the paragraph factors affecting climate. I remember I had given this answer in your notebook. Factors affecting climate. The points: latitude, influence of Himalayas, etc., etc. That is the points you have to write. And for that, you will be getting only 2 marks. You have to be very careful which points you are neglecting and which points you are selecting. Now look here. Points like latitude, influence of Himalayas, altitude, distance from the sea must reflect. ये बहुत जरूरी है. How about the other points like western disturbances, surface wind, and jet streams? This you can write it in 1 line instead of writing points and explaining. Understood? So you club those 3 points into 1. Surface winds, western disturbances, and jet streams club into 3 points. Riyan, you pick up either your textbook or your volume. You are doing chapter wise and module wise. Then the next very important thing they are going to ask you: seasons of India. Put 2 star mark or very important, whichever you like. And be very sure, उसमें से अगर separate questions आएगा, 2 season पेपर आता है. One is that southwest monsoon. In your textbook, what it is given? Advancing. कुछ textbook में advancing, उस पर star mark डालो. Separate questions expected. Advancing monsoon. And then retreating. Remember one specific zone in advancing monsoon we have discussed. ITC. Very good. Who said it? What is ITC? Said everyone? Indian tropical. Indian. Riyan, do goal. What is ITC? Said Indian. My God. It is intertropical climatic zone. And what is it? एक बार board exam आया था. What is ITC? They've just written the full form. One more sentence you need to write along with the full form. What will you write? I explained it. It is a zone of high temperature and low pressure which sets over northern part of India last week of May. अगर नहीं मालूम है अभी लिखो. A zone of high temperature and low pressure which sets over central and northern part of India. It's a zone of high temperature and low pressure which sets over central and northern part of India. Bracket में डालो last week of May. They'll ask you what is ITC. Then don't write the full form and come back. And उधर Indian मत लिखना. It is intertropical climatic zone. कुछ टेक्स्ट बुक में कन्वर्जेंस लिखा रहेगा, दैट इज आल्सो अलग. Okay, convergence flow. Then come down to the last part of the volume of the textbook. Literating monsoon वो सब ठीक है. हाँ, those numericals ना, what I have repeatedly solved. हर एक टाइप का एक ले लेना. And I don't remember when which year it was. They have asked the temperature in decimals. You know what is decimals? 23.4, 21.7. Then the puddle shoots. Don't panic. Because decimal में रहेगा तो भी अपने को क्या करना है? Add ही करना है ना? So what all the formulas we have done? Annual average temperature. Now who can tell me? Jan to December add divided by 12. Annual average में divide होता है? नहीं होता. The word is average. Average का मतलब ही क्या है? You have to divide. Only annual temperature लिखा है. What are you going to do? Only add. Range of temperature. What are you going to do? Highest month minus the lowest month, and predict the season. Predict the station. I've given you two keys. If the rainfall is in the month of June to September, it is on the western side or northern side. Whereas if it is only on October to November, the rainfall increases, it is on the eastern side. Temperature throughout the year, it is very high. It is normally tropical climate, northern side mein rahega. These are the keys through which you have to identify. Don't get panicky. Sir, ये तो आपने सिखाया नहीं, how to identify. Either based on the temperature or based on the temperature. Correct? Let us go to the second module, which is pretty easy, but then also I'll go with detailed one. Anybody have any queries where you want me to discuss? If not, I'll proceed with the module number 2, that is soil resource. I feel since it is very small and the range of question also not very high, many children say, sir, I'll go ahead with it. But there are certain technical terms they will ask you. Like, mountain soils are known as in situ. Anybody knows the meaning of the word in situ? Which does not stay in one place. जब ऊपर से rolling हो जाता है, weathering होता है, it rolls down. And they call mountain soils are immature soil. है ना mountain soil है ना? और mountain soil है. Anybody can give me why mountain soils are immature? उसका आंसर मैंने अभी एक लाइन पहले ही बोला था. When weathering takes place of this soil, if this is the boulder rock, okay, weathering smaller. By the time the weathering soil formation process, it rolls down to the bottom. So what is the soil formation? Is it complete or incomplete? It is incomplete. So mountain soils are known as which soil? Immature soil. I am asking, you are unable to tell me the answer. Module is very small. No problem at all. They'll ask you alluvial soil. Sabko malum hai na? What it is rich in, what it is poor in, what is the color, and which vegetation it supports, plus and where it is. But then if alluvial soil, I say why humus is not there in alluvial soil. You know what is humus? Boliye why humus is absent. Because it is found below the surface of the river, and it is a which soil? Transported soil or a residual soil? Transported. कोई भी soil अगर transported है, humus दे. Residual soil black में भी नहीं है. क्यों नहीं? वो तो residual ही है. It is formed out of the rocks which are made out of lava. So उधर भी humus मिलने का chances zero. Understood? So how many types of soil we have? Alluvial soil, black soil, and red soil. Order में जा. Laterite soil, mountain soil, and बस इतना ही है. इसका characteristics और कुछ है? सारा soil cover किया ना? इसका characteristics rich in, poor in. Why humus is not from there? Purposely bounce you up. Think this module is very easy. अरे कुछ नहीं sir, मैंने कर दिया. But then if tricky question comes, be very careful. But there are more than 2 or 3 tricky questions, 6 marks का गया और 2 mark का 2 question आया जो आप easily correct करें. So how many of you say let me take it a chance? You'll take a chance. But you have answered only 4 marks right. 6 marks का तो guess है. तो कितना land up होगा? According to you. Understood what I'm trying to say? I will please request you do not attempt. क्योंकि आपने 4 मार्क तो पॉकेट में डाला है, बाकी 6 मार्क चांस पे छोड़. And you really think for geography correction it doesn't take time? Because it's all 2 marks रहता है और हर एक क्वेश्चन में हर एक मॉड्यूल में 10 मार्क रहता है. और अभी मैं क्या करता था, कुछ पेपर सेलेक्ट करके अलग रख लेता था जो एक मॉड्यूल, एंड मैं 2 पेपर के लिए क्वेश्चन पेपर को रेफर करेगा, बाद में तो क्वेश्चन पेपर साइड में गए. Then दरादर. Understood what? And section A में normally अभी मेरे पास 50 या 100 पेपर. I don't go for both corrections. My friends are there. जैसे कि पहले 100 पेपर का वो लोग सेक्शन A पूरा करेक्शन कर ले, क्योंकि सेक्शन A में क्या है, टोफो है, MCQs है और मैथ्स है. Then they will go again. मैं तो वैसे करता हूँ. And tally भी मैं अलग-अलग करता हूँ. And to be very frank, you do not have negative marks मतलब कुछ भी लिख के, और मैंने तो ऐसे कुछ पिक किया है. तो वो जो वहां से पिकेगा फिर मालूम पड़ेगा. If 1 or 2 module you have done that fooling work to the examiner, guarantee आगे का जो आपने genuinely लिखा, but he or she will not look. अरे ये तो आंसर फेक है. It becomes very easy for me. Half marks out of 2. 5 का अगर मैंने half mark दिया था out of 10, how much you are landing? 2.5. Understood? So never do that. I think parents को भी मैंने बोला है, when you are attempting module 1, 2, 3, that will be your best module. You know what is best module? सर उसमें मुझे 10 क्या 9 तो मिलना ही मिलना. And then there are certain children told me, sir टोपो शीट है मैंने पेपर का लास्ट में किया, MCQ है ना सर ऊपर किया, और मैप ऑफ इंडिया किधर बांधा है उसी को याद. Be very clear that you are not creating any tension to your home. He or she does know you. Very strict checking goes on. We are not allowed to carry even our mobile also. सिर्फ एक पानी का बॉटल, वो भी उस टीचर्स को बोला गया आप अपना बॉटल मत लेकर आओ, अगर बॉटल का पानी रखता है. Because that much of super invigilation, strict correction goes on. And they are paying per paper. I think अभी मैंने सुना 17-18 रुपए मिलता है या 20 रुपए मिलता है एक पेपर. मतलब अच्छा कमाई है, but it is a tension work. I go as a super invigilator, 1 घंटा बैठूंगा, देख के बात करता हूँ. But imagine our examiner is correcting 500 question to the 500 answer sheet in a day. Depends, speed is that. तो आपको ये सब कैलकुलेशन नहीं चाहिए. आपको मेरा पेपर है ना, जब एग्जामिनर लेगा ना, बच्चा बोलता है अच्छा मुझे ना लेना चाहिए, या बीवी से झगड़ा नहीं करना चाहिए, या हस्बैंड से झगड़ा, वो सब आपको लेना देना. If your paper is presentable, you understood what is presentable, neat and clean, anybody will begin. Anybody मतलब the examiner. Is this module I clear the challenge? Now let us go into the chapter also. Types of soil में ना, star marks to alluvial soil. Wherever 2 star mark, it is a detailed module, detailed section. Black soil again 2 star marks. Can anybody tell me black soil का एक popular question है जो बार-बार आता है? It is a high moisture retentive soil. Anybody have heard this? What is the meaning of the word moisture retentive? It can hold for a long time. What is that which is present inside the soil? Clay. अरे देखो अंदर है वो आंसर कॉपी. Because today I will brush up all the chapters. Whether you attend, do not attend. Clay is there. है क्या उधर? Sure ना? So what is the word you have to remember? Moisture retentive soil. अभी मैं ये क्वेश्चन तो जरा घुमा के पूछ रहा हूँ, बोर्ड में ऐसा आया नहीं है, but I might expect. Although black soil upper surface is dry, but inner surface is moist. Give reason. तभी कह सकते हो आंसर वही है, but you have to change the answer and write. How will you write the answer? Think. It develops cracks on the top surface, but inside it is wet. Give reason. पहला क्वेश्चन पहला पॉइंट है ऐसा लिखने का. It is popularly referred as moisture retentive soil. Second, although the sun absorbs the water on the surface and tends to develop cracks, but inside, below the surface of that topsoil, what is present? Clay. It becomes wet and sticky. You know what is sticky? So it traps the water. What is the word? Come on, everyone. It traps the water. So it is question repeat करने का. Did I bounce you up? No bouncing. So second important soil is black soil. Now there are two soil which is red in color. एक soil को तो हम लोग red soil ही बोलते हैं. पर दूसरा soil का नाम क्या है? Laterite. Why it is not called the red soil? Why it is not called red soil? Laterite soil, despite red in color, not called. अभी आप लोगों को reasons दे. एक ही word है leaching. Since it is formed out of intensive leaching, what is leaching? Rainwater can take away all the silica oxide or dioxide. It takes away the importance. That is why, and which is useful for agriculture. Red soil or laterite? I don't know. It is laterite soil. We can add nitrogen. दोनों है, but laterite थोड़ा ज़्यादा helpful है. Then soil erosion पे tick mark करना, वो तो आप लोग लिख सकते हैं. Meaning, causes and prevention. Meaning, causes and prevention बस. And एक question आता है, what is soil conservation? What is soil conservation? वो हमेशा आता है. So how many feel the soil going to be a very cakewalk for you? Not a cakewalk. Don't get bounced. Don't get bounced. अगर आपने select किया, I feel 1 and 2 are clear. Correct? Let us go to the third module where you might be seeing natural vegetation there. Soil used to it's natural vegetation. How many are not selecting this module? How many are not selecting? Not selecting. Okay. Today, क्या हो गया? Not thorough with the details. देखो, not selecting, it is up to him. So how many types of vegetation we have to study? Starting with evergreen. Second, deciduous. Third, देखिए बोलो, no problem. देखिए, desert forest, mountain forest, and tidal forest. And last में क्या है? Mangroves. Mangroves we have. And so now he said he doesn't want. It's up to him. But those who are going for it, एक चार्ट बनाओ. चार्ट भी नहीं चाहिए. You take your ये हम लोग हमारे स्कूल डेज में करते थे. You take your notebook like this. We try to give 2 inch margin for all the forests and try to write the requirements, characteristics, where it is found. So when you look at that notebook, ना अरे पूरा check पढ़ो, तुम्हारा mind में है. तो किसी ने बोला सर आपने अच्छा आइडिया दिया, चेक बना के लिया, वो मत लिखेगा, उसको पढ़ ले. Is any technical details are required for natural? Nothing. Only name of the forest, which altitude it is found, what is its requirement. एक challenge है. Anybody can tell me? Animal life and vegetation में थोड़ा सा challenge. अभी if you remember that mountain कौन सा type of trees रहेगा? Coniferous. And mountain में 3 level का forest है. 1000 to 1500, 1500 to 2000 something, and 2000, 3000 and above. 3000 and above कौन सा vegetation है? Very cold. है ना, उतना height में cold ही है ना, तो कौन सा type है? If you remember your 9th standard ICSE. Tundra type. You remember tundra type vegetation? Coniferous trees, alpine, chill, pine, ऐसा type trees है. और अगर आप लोअर लेवल पे देखिएगा माउंटेन में फर्स्ट लेवल पर ब्रॉड लीफ ट्रीज. तो पुट 2 स्टार मार्क्स टू एवरग्रीन एंड डेसिडियस. 2 स्टार मार्क्स मतलब डिटेल क्वेश्चंस एक्सपेक्ट कर दे. Are you alive, Riyan?
Yes, sir.
Are you marking what all the things I'm saying? Economic value. Yeah, what do you generally write for economic value? Is evergreen forest highly valuable trees? No, not valuable. Evergreen है भाई. ये क्वेश्चन आया था. Not valuable. Very good. It is inaccessible, dense, and coiled mass of ferns and other things. Did I not say? So which is the maximum forest found in India? Write a note onto that. Tropical deciduous forest. How much percentage India it is? It's close to 87 or 70% of also. 70 to 80% in India. Are they economically valuable? Yes. Maximum जो trees हम लोग कट करते हैं कौन सा forest से आता है? Deciduous. Okay. Then one typical question might come that is in the form of littoral and tidal forest. Put that word. Littoral and tidal again to Stama. They will ask, briefly explain the special features of vegetation found in littoral forests. Because their chemical roots are seen during the low tide and the roots are mainly for balancing. So the trees किसमें है? पानी के बीचों बीच है ना? So please read this littoral and tidal. Economic value में लोग ने mangroves दिए. Short question आता है mangroves paper. Explain the importance of mangrove trees under tidal forests. And don't take it lightly. ये vegetation जो भी ले रहा है natural, be very specific. You are going to learn the details. जितना easy आपको दिखता है उतना easy नहीं है, मतलब difficult नहीं है. It's up to you. Okay, let us go to the next. This volume is coming to the presentation. फिर मैं आपको maps का वो भी important दे देता हूँ. Because the maps from the inside the chapter we have. Now, what are the sources? If you are taking conventional and non-conventional. Okay, these three are 8, 9, and 10 as per our volume. Minerals, conventional and non-conventional, take it as one. And water resources separate. I mean, water resources is not a challenging one unless and until you don't get that. What is that? Rainwater harvesting. And irrigation, where some children are asking, sir, whether we have a map related question or whether we have theory based question. We'll have theory based question also. Like everybody knows what is a multi-purpose dam. Tell me. What is a multi-purpose dam? Give two examples. Damodar Valley, Bakra Nangal, okay. Hirakud. And what is a what is a multi-purpose project? Very good. 0 months I will give. It is used for multiple. क्या multiple क्या है? क्या है? बोलो. तो हर टाइम फ्लड कंट्रोल के लिए. बस irrigation very poor. ये तो जनरल आंसर है. Electric and reservoir and fishing. What else? Canal irrigation and that's it. अगर आपने multi-purpose word लिखा है, it is used for many purposes at the same time. Soon after independence, who was the prime minister? Now, what was his popular statement? मैंने वो भी दिया है. Multi-purpose dams are referred as temples of modern India. Did I say this? अगर मेरा notebook है तो check करो. Was Nehru ji right in saying temples of modern India? अच्छा बोलते हैं मैं तो कोई भी temple नहीं जाता, मुझे modern India. Because it saved the lives of people during calamities like which two calamities? Floods and droughts. Okay. और एक डालो along with dams, rainwater harvesting played 2 star marks. Objectives, mechanism भी मैंने दिया. Condensed pipe है ना, वो underground का tank, वो mechanism मतलब क्या क्या apparatus यूज करते हैं. तो irrigation में डालो 2 dams they will ask you surely. Any 2 dams. Hirakud, Damodar and Bakra Nangal. ये तीन में से एक तो आ जाएगा. And the types of canals when somebody in Vashi only asked me, sir, ये perennial और inundation canals का क्या difference? You know what is a perennial canal? Which carries water throughout the year. What is inundation canal? It has water only during the ये देखो अगर मैं आपको inundation canal सिखाऊं तो ऐसा है not cut by you and me cut by government officer they very carefully cut the rivers at a particular distance so that when the water rises in excess this will calmly move ये कौन सा canal बोलते हैं इसको inundation canal is it permanent nature temporary nature and the government officer with the government supervision and then only they will cut it. If not, if you cut at every place, then river will, you know what will happen? It will burn you. Then हो गया और एक यूनिक क्वेश्चन मैंने एक बार पढ़ा था हाँ difference between वो चलो नोटबुक में या वॉल्यूम में लिखो conventional and non-conventional method. What is conventional method and what is non-conventional method? Of irrigation. Which are the conventional method? देखो कर दिया है wells है ना never write tube wells then tanks canals and whereas non-conventional tube wells furrow spray and drip there was a question the difference between furrow and drip irrigation drip irrigation if you have seen there are two types the pipes might be up or maybe inside the ground and they have regular openings and drip water ये up भी रहता है कभी-कभी. So this is called drip irrigation. And what is furrow? If you are selecting very simply, if you have seen agricultural fields, ऐसा रहता है ना? And furrows are nothing but they try to have what I'm doing, creating furrows. And this is very easy. Why? अगर पानी मुझे यहाँ से छोड़ना है, I will try to cut off this and this water. So these are natural line. It is used by soil only, but furrows created रहेगा. ये पूरा हर एक plot को पानी जाने के लिए. This is furrow irrigation. Correct. I think I might have seen shown you some videos. So is this chapter simple but careful because you never know they might bounce you wherever you are selecting simple. The next 2 or 3 chapters. You are going to raise questions. Minerals. Very important is iron ore. Put 2 star marks. No doubt, iron ore से बचना ही नहीं है. What is the word we use it for iron ore? It is the dash of Indian economy. Backbone. How many types of ore in India we have? 2. He's saying 2. Very good. Only 2. 3. I mean number बड़ा है. 4 types of iron ore. You know what is the ore? Raw form of any mineral is called ore. कौन सा है? Hematite. बोलो उधर है वॉल्यूम में है. Magnetite, limonite. 90% limonite लिख के आता है. It is limonite. कुछ टेक्स्ट बुक में iron pyrites दिया रहेगा, कुछ टेक्स्ट बुक में siderite दिया रहेगा. Anything you can write. So hematite, magnetite, limonite, and siderite or iron pyrite. So is it okay? And in India, which one we are extracting maximum? Hematite or magnetite? It is magnetite. Hematite India में कम है we have. Then उसका importance, uses and distribution. Manganese only 1 star mark. Next important is copper. अब इसमें और क्वेश्चंस कैसे आएगा ना? They will try to ask you out of the main minerals found, which is the least available mineral in India. बोलो. You are correct. It is the copper. Which mineral has lost its importance and value? Bauxite. Aluminium ना? अभी aluminium whites किधर है? Except aluminium for utensils, where are we using? And aluminium, if you remember, there was a Roman king. When aluminium was found and very shiny it was, he gave his gold button to the people to borrow aluminium buttons. The Roman king was considered a stupid fellow. He doesn't know what is gold and what is. But naya aluminium is too. Hai so that was aluminium. Can you say today is aluminium so important? It is. and give a short note on the most important mineral of India. What is that? Iron. This is how they might bounce it. Correct? And chemical composition, which is the mineral which is normally used for alloys? उसको उल्टा alloy metal ही बोलते हैं हम लोग. Manganese. Manganese हर एक metal में alloy के रूप में जाता है. Correct? I asked so many questions that you guys say, sir, ये छोड़ देंगे sir. दूसरा कोई और भी पक्के नहीं ऐसा मत करो. अभी minerals में minerals हो गया. Then conventional में very important is coal. Two stomach. Who can tell me 4 types of coal found in India? Anthracite. Go with the order. You'll never go. Anthracite, bituminous, lignite, and peat. Which is the best quality coal? How much percent carbon? 80 to 90. And second important, bituminous. And third important, and fourth important is peat. And peat is the base of the coal family. Explains. Question from there? Question समझा क्या? पहला जो coal human being को मिला वो that was in the form of peat. Why? It is just like a charcoal. It burns with lot of smoke and gives less heat. And which is the coal which burns very steady and burns for a longer time? Anthracite. Is India well gifted with anthracite? No. So which coal we do have maximum? Bitumen. Correct? अभी और आगे भी जाते हैं. इसका advantage, disadvantage. There was a question from this module only. They did not understand what is these two. Difference between. Let me see you guys. बोलो, what is this? Gondwana, coalfield and केमिकल फॉर्मूला भी याद रहेगा. ईश्वर की क्या सर उसने जीसीएफ और टीसीएफ डाला था ना. वो तो बोल सर आप उस टाइम पर आपको याद नहीं. एंड 2 मार्क्स करा. If you remember, this is how many million years old? 200 million years old. And this is 55 million years old. And how much percent of GCF we have? 98% of. And this is only. So better quality coal is which one? Gondwana. Simple है. ऐसा क्वेश्चन आया ना, that don't get blink and don't look here and there. मॉड्यूल सेलेक्ट करने से पहले देख लो उधर कुछ चैलेंजिंग क्वेश्चंस दिया है नहीं दिया है, then go ahead. So bring a smile on your face. Sir, 5 में से 4 मॉड्यूल तो 9 out of 10 क्या बोलता है? Out of 10 9 I am scoring. And the 5th module no problem sir, 8.5. 8 भी मिला तो फिर भी I am not bothered. Right? Let us go to petroleum. 2 star marks again. There was a question. Why petroleum is called as fossil fuel? Is the question correct? Is petroleum a fossil fuel? Yes, no. Why it is called as a fossil fuel? If it is found in the ocean, which part of the ocean mineral oil has? Look. In between you have to show some trenches. ये continental shelf. You remember? This is continental slope. Our next feature क्या है? जो ऐसा plane जैसा दिखता है. This is trenches. Which is the deepest trench? Mariana Trench. Which ocean it is? Abyssal plain. So now if they ask you where it is found, it is starting from shelf and ending in slope. यहाँ मिलता है mineral oil. One more question. Oil and water has difference in properties, na? How mineral oil is found inside the water? They'll ask you how it is found inside the water. So let us see. Common sense रहेगा तो बता देगा. Is it just floating over the water or they have to? It is trapped. ये word use करो. Between the layers of Yes, ऐसा क्वेश्चन ना है. Which rocks generally inside? Coral rocks, coral or sedimentary rocks. एक बार मैंने वो दिखा था ना कैसे ड्रिलिंग होता है, इधर देखा है दूसरा ब्रांच में और ड्रिलिंग दिखाते हैं कैसे डीप जाता है ड्रिलिंग. दो पाइप जाता है, फिर एक लास्ट पाइप जाता है जो मिनरल ऑयल को निकालता है एंड इज टू डीप. ये अगर पूछा ना ये दो तीन वर्ड कहीं तो लिखा है ट्रैप and it is between the layers of coral rocks or sedimentary rocks. What else? Put one stomach to natural gas. And एक बार ये क्वेश्चन आया, two forms of natural gas used by human being. One is LPG, other is उधर भी बताया natural gas लिखा है. उन्होंने खुद बोला है two forms of natural gas. One is CNG, full form LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, natural gas नहीं है LPG. एंड दोनों के बारे में दो लाइन लिखी. देखो डैम इधर लोग ने दिया बाकरा डैम, दामोदर, हिराकुड डैम एंड व्हाट कॉल इट. ठीक है. नॉन कन्वेंशनल में ना in Stanford there is a boy who is a science wonder. Windmill में भाई साहब ने बोला सर is the wind mill का जो plate है is very heavy, 2 tons का. ऐसा जो ना ऐसा इतना टन का वेट करके तो कैसा है. But actually he was right, it is 1.897 something tons एक blade का weight. So multiplied by that velocity and what you call it inertia or whatever it is. And उसका फिर वो भाई साहब बहुत scientific बोला हाँ इतना नहीं पूछता है. So windmills का आप डालो, they'll ask you in detail. Solar power in detail. Geothermal and nuclear power. Non-conventional, be very careful. If you know very correct answers and very strict answers. अब जैसे मैं nuclear power एक question था. Although nuclear fire is the most dangerous fuel, why still we are using it? You understood? Nuclear power. Why still we are using it? No advantage. First advantage over the amount of coal. 10,000 tons of coal burned to produce energy and 2 atoms split. Energy is the same. इतना ही है. And what is the second advantage? Which is more dependable? Thermal or nuclear? Nuclear is more dependable. And what are the major risks in nuclear power? Blast and manual mistake हुआ तो. And third, can be used for constructive or destructive? Destructive purposes. Thermal का कुछ destructive है, कौन पहले उठाएगा? Is it okay? So now read all through and tell me any query. Quick. Instead of I am telling my side query, you have to tell me your side. Okay, पूछो, I am ready. But I had given detailed notes, I think, है ना? How many are selecting this module? Pakka. Make it very sure that you are not going to fumble or tumble in case of geothermal energy. Geothermal का जरा बता भाई. Last question. What is geothermal energy? बोल. क्या last में आपको बोलना है? ना बोल. English, you are writing.
Energy or being the last
Good. between anybody major advantage of geothermal उसमें दिया भी था और मैंने I made you to write the most reliable source of energy is geothermal. How many places in India we have? देख के बोलो यार, देख के बोलो. Two places, one is Himachal, another is Ladakh. हिमाचल में जगह का नाम क्या है? प्यूगा वैली. लद्दाख में उल्टा बोल रहा हूँ. हाँ, लद्दाख में मणिकरण एंड प्यूगा वैली. लद्दाख एंड हिमाचल. Which company is doing? वो भी मैंने वीडियो दिखाया था. One is Larsen and Toubro, which is doing the work. Is it used now? No. It is on which basis? Experimental basis. Correct? Who can tell me about tidal energy? मैंने वीडियोस पे देखा है 3 टाइप का tidal energy है, barrages, fences. And what is the most difficult part of tidal energy? The land surface and the soil, the water has to be at a perfect situation. On a tidal energy is not available. And what is the other problem? It can be produced only during which tide? Only during the high tide. And low tide, it cannot. So, although it is very efficient, but tidal energy India में एक ही जगह पर है. एक नहीं जगह पर, 2 जगह पर है. It is one state only. हाँ, गुजरात में है. जगह का भी नाम बोला था मैंने. दक्षिण कहाँ से पानी है पापा? गल्फ ऑफ कैम्बे है ना? कच्छ में कहाँ से पानी आएगा? देखा है कच्छ में? श्योर? कच्छ क्या लिखा था? देखो जरा पढ़ो. अच्छा, कैम्बे भी लिखा. ठीक, गल्फ है, कच्छ में है. गल्फ मतलब it is a adjoining area, adjoining the sea. चलो जाने दो. So we have agriculture. I think majority are not selecting. Anybody selecting this one? Very good. Very good. Very good. Why I'm saying very good? Because it is the most easiest module. But the problem is you have to remember so many things. 3 types of cropping season. Kharif, Rabi and Zaid. And 4 types of agricultural pattern. Subsistence agriculture, primitive subsistence, intensive subsistence, commercial agriculture and plantation farming. अभी read करो. You have any query because here only they get confused. ये बहुत basic है. फिर उसके आगे हम और we can go ahead. Riyan, check the volume. You have any query? Please ask me.
Yes, sir.
So today is my final day of lectures with you guys. So next week you can have whichever subject is pending. I'll inform the department. Not goodbye, but bye-bye to my KHR Intelligent ICSE branch. Asra इसलिए नहीं है that I see that intelligence in the board exam. And I am available. Anytime you have queries, you can check with the department. And we have in-house teachers also. Okay? So then many a time children tell me, sir, why this chapter I am not selecting? Because of the trouble when they go with that, what is that? Food crops and cash crops. Now only you can mark which are the crops which they are going to ask you in detail. Paddy, rice and wheat are important. Dali do. Detail में करना पड़ेगा. And try to see कुछ unwanted questions कभी बोर्ड में आया तो वो भी click कर लो. Then the soil requirements से ज़्यादा they will ask you methods of cultivation. कौन सा broadcasting method, drilling method, seedling method, transplanting. Write one separate question on Japanese method of rice cultivation. Those who are selecting, just read it and tell me what is Japanese method. Use of which crop normally? HYV ज़्यादा है. And there was a question: wheat and rice, laborious, either wheat or rice. Which is more laborious and why? Which cultivation? जिसमें ज़्यादा labor का जरूरत है. Rice के लिए या wheat के लिए? Rice के लिए, wheat के लिए नहीं. बिकॉज यू नो ट्रांसप्लांटिंग मेथड एक जगह पर उगाएगा फिर लेके आएगा फिर करेगा फिर से उसको एक करेगा फिर बॉयल करेगा. All the machines are used, but then also it is more time consuming. Whereas wheat, which crop? It is Kharif or Rabi? Wheat is a Kharif crop. It's a Rabi crop, winter fed crop. Rice is the Kharif crop. अगर आपको कंफ्यूजन होगा ना Kharif and Rabi में F है ना, Kharif का याद रखो rainfall. Paddy is the popular Kharif crop. Wheat is the popular Rabi crop. गलती से भी उधर मत लिख के आ जाए. And why wheat requires 12 temperature? Sowing का टाइम में 10 to 15 डिग्री, हार्वेस्टिंग का टाइम में 20 to 25 डिग्री. Why? सोइंग का टाइम कौन सा सीजन है? ये है ना कौन सा सीजन है? विंटर सीजन है. जब वो what is that? The plant gets rooted up, it needs good temperature so that वो दाना है ना, what is that? Wheat का, it should sprout. तब जाके wheat sprout होगा. वरना अगर वही टेम्परेचर रहना ऐसा लगेगा कि प्लांट तो बड़ा हुआ बट wheat को पोलियो हो गया है. So that you will not forget. So dual temperature for which cultivation? Wheat cultivation. Sowing, what is the temperature? And harvesting? तो ये मैं सबके लिए बोल रहा हूँ. Even in MCQs you will get it. And the next important crop is millets. Millets के बारे में शायद मैंने दिया भी रहेगा. Why it is known as dash man's food crop? Poor man's food crop. Very good. Aditi remembers the question. Which are the 2 points you write? Cheap construction. Cheap cost for farmers, cheap for the consumers, and more nutritious. And इसका requirement rice या wheat के तरह ज़्यादा नहीं है, बहुत कम है. कम पानी में उग जाएगा, ज़्यादा उसको fertilizer नहीं चाहिए. That is why it is known as. Millets में क्या क्या included है बोलो? Jawar, bajra, and ragi. Can I call them as this crop? Sturdy crops. You know what a sturdy? SQRDY. They can withstand. अभी राइस को आप 2 दिन या 3 दिन पानी नहीं देते, तीसरा दिन राइस खत्म. Even the wheat also. But this can withstand. तो ये वैसे एरिया में ग्रो होता है जहाँ रेनफॉल बहुत कम है. Correct? So, what else? That is good. Agriculture 3 cash crops में sugarcane very important, cotton very important, and oil seeds. Oil seeds में groundnut का ज़्यादा आता है. Giving time for all the children who are selecting and not selecting. Please run through. कोई MCQs है, कोई concepts you are unable to understand. That will help you. Hey, in Topo, listen. What all the things? How many have not attended my Topos? Even revision lectures में बीच में भी कर रहा था. Topo में 4R and 6R. Sorry, 4 grid and 6 grid. Anybody who doesn't know what is a 6 grid, keep the mobile in. 6 grid, everyone knows. Everyone. Okay. What is eastings and northings? Any confusion? Eastings is below that heading. जो भी आपका map है ना, and this is northings. Correct है? Which formula I asked you to follow this route? Thumb rule. जैसे आपका physics में है ना, right hand शायद आप में CBSE. And now you are finding this is 20, 21, 22 और यहाँ के 10, फिर 9, 8 something. For 4 figure, I say I'll take eastings first, है ना? 20 something here, it is lower number. 20 and 21 के बीच में आएगा तो 20 लिया, and which is the 10 and 9 के बीच में, I'll take 0 लिया. Correct? तो इसी का अगर मुझे 6 figure लेना, ये मेरा बॉक्स है. Got it? Now, first thing, what will you do? You write 20, put a dash, and 09, put a dash. Correct. What are you going to do? यहाँ से अभी वो figure इधर किधर ही तो है. And keep the scale 0 from here. How many centimeters are there? 2 centimeters. And you have to divide it by 2. अभी आके 10 में आया है ना? You have to divide it by 2. So how much it is? 5. From here the scale has to come from top to bottom. अभी यहाँ से आएगा. It might be 6. So divided by 2. And there are certain books I have seen they have given that ready-made one. Please do not use it. अभी आपको easy मिलेगा. वो प्लास्टिक का कुछ तो बना हुआ कुछ मैंने देखा है. But board exam it is not allowed. So this is how you have to be very smart. And finding the direction of the river. Finding the direct distance. Scale. Indirect distance by thread. वो भी दिखाया था ना मैंने. And how many types of pattern we have done? Drainage pattern we have done. Settlement pattern also we have done. And wells का पूछते हैं. Dry well and perennial well. Perennial well का छोटा dot रहेगा but blue में रहेगा. And dry well black में रहेगा. And what is a causeway? They were asking me. Anybody knows what is a causeway? अगर मैप में ऐसा दिखाया है एक रोड जा रहा है ऐसा एक रोड ऑरेंज जा रहा है. Now which becomes a causeway? ये नीचे वाला और ये रेड में दिया है. This is the causeway. Correct? One road and the other road are. So be very careful. Conventional signs and symbols जितना clear रहेगा उतना better. I think वो भी मैंने आपको practice भी करवाया. I made you to draw and write also. 5 minutes पे दोनों. If two. At the time it's here. What else? What else? टोको में. यही था बस इतना ही. Contour सबको मालूम है. How to find out a contour spacing? अभी ऐसा मैं कर रहा हूँ. है ना? अभी इसका मैं फिगर कैसा बनाएगा ऐसे. Remember I have made it. तो ये ऐसा बनेगा something like this. ये जो middle section है वो 300 MSL है. What is MSL? Meter height above sea level. This is 150 and this is 100. जो 100 वाला है वो ये है. 150 वाला ये है और ये 300 वाला. And they'll ask you the spacing between the contours. Tell me what kind of slopes we have. What kind of spacing? Steep slopes. क्योंकि एक contour और दूसरा contour के बीच में जगह कम है. And I draw one more contour. What kind of slope it is? A gentler slope. And don't panic, you need topo sheets lectures again, I'll come. But I've done some revisions, I remember it. But be very sure that you are getting all signs and symbols, directions, and color scheme bhi maine samjha. If it is too much of green, do not write agriculture. What will you write? Green patches ज़्यादा है. It is forest. Agriculture ज़्यादा रहेगा तो कौन सा कलर का दिखेगा? Yellow color, harvesting, yellow. 90% है green था सर, मैंने agriculture लिख कर आया. It's not agriculture. And they asked me, sir, forest में क्या activities लिखने का? What activities you like? Wood cutting, lumbering, honey, beekeeping, etc. etc. जो forest के अंदर चलता है. And फिर वो pattern of the settlement. How many pattern we have done? 4. What are they? Nucleated. What else? Linear. Nucleated का exact opposite कौन सा है? Scattered. What else? Linear and radial pattern. Drainage pattern how much we have done? ये दोनों में confusion होता है. Drainage pattern. Drainage. First is trellis. Dendrotite. What else? Dendritic drainage pattern है. Follow. If you have 4 patterns of drainage, भूल गया. Very good. And this you have to identify in the map. That is very important. And ये लोग तो नाम भी भूल गए. जरा नाम बोलो. 4 pattern. Drainage. Radial. What else? What is that? Now the question is, tell us what is parallel drainage pattern. Well, parallel, if you forget, you remember I might have made diagrams like this. ऐसा किया रहेगा देखो. You remember? ये parallel pattern है. Overall, I think I made you not too panicky, but to become confidence only. So God bless you all. I'll see you in my next lecture. I can see you in my next lecture, and I'm there to help you. Correct? So.